Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so everything is looking weak. Weak from up the street. Weak from up the street. So traders, the last few updates that I've been talking to you about, I've been saying that I'm expecting a bit of weakness to come into, bit more weakness to come into the actual markets itself. And that's exactly what we've been getting. You've been seeing the sell-off. If you guys know, you've been watching me now for even for the last couple of weeks, I've been saying I'm expecting probably a bit more downside to come out of the actual stock market. And that's exactly what we have been getting. So that's what I want to share with you in today's update about that. So let's actually start off with the good old Dow Jones, and I'll get to the gold and mining stocks as well too. Anyway, let's actually start off with the good old Dow Jones. So this is exactly what I was expecting here, guys. You can see that little arrow there. I'm saying traders, we're in a downward trend right now, and this market is now probably going to continue the trend, and we don't want to fight the trend, right? Down, lower high, down, up, now lower high, and now it's really rolling over. I'm expecting to see some, it could be blood in the streets next week. It could be blood in the streets next week. We could see some significant selling coming into the markets next week, out of these markets. I'm just putting that out there right now, guys, that we could see blood in the streets because we are in this downward trend, right? And then now, especially on the Dow Jones, if the Dow Jones starts to really break this 33,000 level, then apart from this little support level here, we have a long way down out of this Dow Jones here. So we could be set with this could be the start of a trigger to see a lot more downside to come. So right now, traders, we're getting this strong downward trend. We did get the pullback. We are now starting to see the sell-off through here, and everything is looking very, very, very weak right now in the markets. And so that's what I'm seeing through there on the Dow Jones. On the S&P 500, same sort of thing here. Remember I was saying before, guys, 50% Fibonacci level holding. Now we're likely to see some, this is likely to be just a pullback and a drop. Now we are getting the drop. We're actually right at this level of support. I would say that support is probably going to be broken now because we're in here. And again, guys, it could be blood in the streets next week in these markets. The warning signs were here for the last few weeks, and I've been talking about the warning signs about what's happening with these markets, and now we're getting this high, lower high, and now we're rolling over. There could be blood in the streets, right? So I'm not saying day one, right? We could get something like this, right? We could get something like a bit of a bounce here like that, and something like that, right? We could even get something like that, and then a breakdown, right? But the but scenario is that I'm just looking at these markets, and to me, it definitely looks like that we're probably likely to start to, again, there's probably going to be blood in the streets next week. Really, again, because look at this here. It's just looking really, really bad. Even the Nasdaq, right? Look at the Nasdaq rolling over high, lower high. We're at this level of support. So even the Nasdaq is about to break the level of support. The next drop here in the market, next level here is probably around that level there. And so once again, that's about a 10 or so % drop, even on the Nasdaq point of view from there. So everything's looking very, very, very weak, guys, right now. And it does look like, and again, traders, for the last week, you know that I've been talking about saying, traders, this is probably going to be pullback. There's weakness in the markets. Even my last few videos, I'm just like, weakness in the markets. Don't be fighting it. You know, and then this is what we're getting here right now in the markets here. Makes sense, traders? And this is exactly what I was talking about with my private clients. I was talking about them with my private clients today. With some of my private clients, I actually see them, I speak to them every single day the market's open. If you are interested in becoming a private client, then that second link in the description, click on that, and then you can go fill out the application form, and I'll call you to see if you're a good fit. Again, that second link in the description there. So that's what I'm seeing through there on the stock market. But I do have some good news. What is the good news? Gold is your friend. That shiny thing. Look at gold just ricochet rabbit to the upside. Now, I believe this is a significant major bottoming pattern in gold. Major bottoming pattern in gold. But just remember, like every single bull market, we have what? We have trend. Okay? So that means we're not going to just do something like that. If we do something like that, or something like that, then we're probably going to see a very sharp sell-off. We don't want to see something like that. If it goes vertical, we're probably going to see a big movement on the downside. So what we're probably likely to see real soon, I don't know when this is going to start, but looking at gold's big move up from here, this is a complete change in trend. This is the change in trend that the gold investors wanted to see. Okay? Because what's likely to happen now is we're likely to get some form of a pullback soon out of this level here, some form of a pullback through here, and then we're possibly likely to see something like that happening out of the markets. Make sense? So we're possibly, I'm waiting for a bit of a pullback, but this here is going to be a pullback. We're no longer in a downward trend, right? Because look at this here. We actually broke this high. So up, right? Up, and then we're possibly likely to see a bit of a pullback, possibly see like a bit of a pullback here before we actually start to see an up move from there. So that's actually what I'm seeing from there. Again, guys, for me, from a trading perspective, I want to see a pullback first. And if we can get the pullback, I believe that's going to be a real good buying opportunity, because then I believe then we're going to start to see a really, really just incredible moves coming out of those markets here when it comes to gold. So the next week or two, guys, could be a real good buying opportunity from a investing perspective. That's different, all right? That's long-term stuff. But from a trading perspective, guys, that's exactly what I'm seeing through there. So wait for, I would say, and again, guys, like you just never know, right? Like what's happening right now in the economy, like this thing could go up like this here first, right? We could get something like that first, right? Like a real big strong move, and then we get the pullback. So I'm not saying the pullback is definitely going to start right now. I'm just saying for me, from a high probability trading, from a probability trading perspective, I want to see a dip first. I guess let's get a nice pullback first, and then we can see the market going for the rip. Looking at silver, and look what happened with silver today. Very, very interesting, right? We're now looking at what? We're now right at that level there. Big V bottom action happening right at this level of resistance here. So big change in trend. A lot of movement in the metals and miners right now, guys. A lot of movement in the metals and miners. Big changes, big shifts are happening right now when it comes to the metals and miners. And that big picture, once again, traders, this big picture on that weekly chart. Whew, traders, if we start to see, this is that weekly chart here, but if we start to see a break above this sort of $26 level, we could really start to see some really big movements coming out of this silver level from here. And move over now through to the mining sector. And look what's up with the mining sector. Big, massive V bottom from here. What from a trading perspective, if we can get again like a bit of a pullback, and then something like this, and then a breaking above, if we get something like that, massive probability that we're likely to see something like that coming. If we can get something like that happening out of the GDX, and then also the GDXJ as well too, complete breaking above this level through here, and it was like more like that level through there, flush down, coming right back above it, very strong. Now point through there. So again, guys, we now look at this here, big V bottom. Let's actually just see if we can get that higher low, right? We want to see a higher low. The reason why is because that's going to confirm the upward trend. A very strong move up like that is not a bull market. Okay, a bull market is very good higher low. So you actually want to see this thing pull back higher low, because that's now going to start to say, okay, the buyers are starting to come back in there. Makes sense? And so that's exactly what I'm seeing through there. Just like we did on the Nasdaq, right? Look at this here. On the Nasdaq, what actually happened? We had this low point. We made this higher high. It pulled back, made a high low. We broke past these previous highs, and then the movement started to see. Then we started to see this very big, strong movement to the upside. So the stock market is looking really weak, guys. There could be blood in the streets next week in the stock market. And then also gold and silver. We may even get a bit of a pullback out of gold and silver in the mining sector. But I believe, not like the stock market, I think the stock market, that's not going to be a buying a dip opportunity because we're in a downward trend. with gold and silver and stuff like that, I believe that's going to be a real good sort of buying and dip opportunity, even for a trading perspective, looking at those sort of the gold, silver, and the gold mining stocks as well too.